See it as like there's just less competition, there's less algos, there's less the bigger hedge funds, the bigger players, they're all sleeping.
Welcome back to Master in Five, everyone. Today I have David, aka Reverse Long, who's also the host of the Friendly Bear podcast. He's here to share with us pre-market short trading. David, go ahead and take it away, brother.
What's up, guys? All right, so a lot of people know a lot of people don't know that you can actually trade in the pre-market really early if you have direct access brokers. So I've been shorting in the pre-market since like 2020 when things were going crazy. I was starting out back then, and I remember I was kind of scared to touch the stove in intraday because everything was going crazy. Imagine starting out with a fully loaded account in the middle of 2020. Even after studying for multiple years, I was like, this is really volatile. I don't know if I want to just jump in right away. So I saw these pre-market trades. They were kind of like in slower motion because even though they were volatile, they jumped up quite a bit. They would fade back down slowly because there's
Mhm.
less liquidity. There's less players in the pre-market. So I always saw it right initially, and I still do see it as like there's just less competition. There's less algos. There's less the bigger hedge funds, the bigger players, they're all sleeping.
Hey, we wouldn't be able to do these face-to-face interviews if it wasn't for our sponsor, Cobra Trading. So if you can just give them a few seconds of your time, we'd really appreciate it. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be the Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show.
So like they go to the office. I picture them going into the office 9 o'clock, 9:15,
Mm.
they're getting their coffee, blah blah blah. But so as I did well in 2020, 2021, trading pre-market was big. But like even now, it's still worth it to trade pre-market because now I understand it more from
Mm-hmm.
like going over stuff of like, for example, like filings that Ali Angel taught me and some other people have taught me. I see this manipulation in pre-market. So, for example, and I'll wake up early. Like today, I woke up early. It was one QMCO, I think it was. Yeah, QMCO did exactly this, what NEPT did in the
Go ahead and
pre-market
share your screen
on
there.
Friday. Yeah. Oh, share the screen. Okay, so I'm still a noob at this, so bear with me, guys. All right. All right, so all right, so NEPT, yeah, so NEPT, this move was on Friday. So this is why I wake up at 4 in the morning. And the thing is, I've shared this strategy. I've made like a lot. I've been on Profitly. I have like 90 videos in Profitly when in 2020 when I was like a newbie doing this, and I made a good amount of money. I vlogged it, and like it's just no one really wakes up at 4 in the morning. But if you really want it,
Right.
you really want to wake up at 4 in the morning, and you're prepared and you studied and you have your risk intact and you have your rules and you got your coffee in you, you're alert. It's pretty good. So like I said, there's less competition. So anyway, today or actually Friday, NEPT spiked up. Remember, it didn't do anything, or it's coming off year lows recently. But like I don't like to short it if it's like directly off the year lows. Just like a few days off, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
or like a week off. So it spikes up for no reason. Um, so I'm pretty quick at this now because like dilution tracker makes things a lot easier too. So I'll go to dilution tracker, type NEPT quickly. Remember, these are 5 minute candles, but let's see. On the 1 minute candles, so we have one, two, three. In 3 minutes, it's the high, and then four, five, six. I like to grab it. I use the VWAP over here, even though VWAP in pre-market, it really doesn't mean much. But for me, it's just like that's my rule. I wait for it to crack the VWAP, and I'll start short. So, but in this case, I saw no news. Actually, Yeah, there was no news right away, so I jumped on Twitter. This is a process that that I think this that I go through. So I go through Dilution Tracker. I'll go through Twitter, TweetDeck. I'll type it in real quick to see if there's any of these apes on it or something. They're trying to squeeze me or
Yep.
squeeze the stocks. They like to squeeze stocks randomly, it seems like sometimes. And then I'll go to BAMSEC. This is where a little more advanced that I've incorporated recently, the past year or so, while I learned filings like when I was at Trade Space and also went in more in depth with filings with Ali Angel. So I'll go into
Shout
the
out to
filing.
Allie for
You
sure.
shout out to Ali, man. She's really helped me a lot, man. This stuff has protected me. Um, Knowing the filings has I've avoided so many squeezes,
Yep.
and like knowing when to time it better. Because short selling, you got to time it. If you're too early, you're gonna get run over. However, if you wait for everybody else to get squeezed, that's a short. So like for NEPT, um, I went into the filing. I don't know if you can see here, but this is BAMSEC on my screen, and I see there was a bunch of you
We
just
can't
put
see
extra.
the BAM sec here. You might have to
I
switch it to another screen.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's gonna be all distorted. Let's just keep it here. But anyway,
Okay.
because the vertical screen is squishes and it's gonna distort. So anyway, if you go to Bansa, you put Control F, exercise price. Dilution tracker misses this, so that's why it's good to know how to do things more in depth. It really is just like I wouldn't have shorted this um around the highs if I didn't grab BAMSEC and dig into that real quick.
So
If I
what'd you
was just going
find?
out, so I found there was a lot of warrants that the insiders had um from $1 to $2.30. Yeah, exactly. They had yeah, and 498. Oh, they had some of 498, 232, and 140. So, and these are, it's not that much amount, it's not a crazy amount of warrants, but it was
Hmm.
enough for them to spike it from 139 to 445. And the pre-market, this is what I learned from Ali, man. So like, there's no halts in the pre-market. So like, yeah, obviously, but she points these things out. She's really detail oriented,
Mm.
and I'm detail oriented. I come from an architecture background, very detailed. So it's like you get all these detailed oriented theories together. It's like putting the puzzle together.
Yep.
So so they had those warrants. They like to spike it. They try to like sneak them through. It's really dirty because a lot of people don't look at this at what happened in
Yep.
the pre-market. It kind of just escapes. So if you're up at 4 in the morning, you have your scanners. I use Trade Ideas now. Trade Ideas open since 4 in the morning now, and
Mm.
and I have Thinkorswim also. So it's like more advanced than when I was doing before, but it's still you can still do it. So um yeah, so I saw all those warrants. I was like, okay, this is going up a known user trying to spike it like this. I like the float. It wasn't like a crazy small float. I don't like under 10 million floats, but it's like, all right, man, let's do it. And so I shorted here small size and I shorted a little smaller size, and then like it was enough. Once it got the confirmation, I put one last hit around the VWAP. It flushed. They usually do this. They behave very similar, these things. So it flushed, I covered, and then I'll short it again at the VWAP, like half size, and then I'll cover again. And I used to, when I had a smaller account, because with the smaller account, you got to be more precise. I used to wait for them to hit 7 in the morning, I'll get out, and then reshort it at 7 and get out in the morning. This is like so typical. So like
Let me
today we
ask you
had,
something. Let me ask you
yeah.
something. Can you zoom in there again and just focus in on the execution area? Yeah, right there.
Oh, the execution area, yeah.
So so now I'm curious because a lot of people are going to be thinking this. Whenever you saw the warrants and you just took your trade, is there like a trigger you're looking for? I know you mentioned VWAP. Is that like the main idea for you that really helps you feel more confident in this trade? And then you're just risking, I'm assuming, high a day at that point?
Yeah, okay, so this is the thing. So I'm using VWAP. So VWAP is the volume weighted average price. Now in the pre-market, there's not much volume to go
Right.
by. So I just use it like a discretionary thing because I've had charts saved. I know people have data spreadsheets and stuff. I have like folders of charts. I'm more visual of the same chart over and over and over.
Yep.
and I've just decided it just happens to be that VWAP line is it works. So I go by that. So like I used to be when I was more conservative with these, they're super conservative. I didn't really understand filings. I didn't understand like float as much. I didn't understand what was going on. I just knew the pattern worked, I was just going by the pattern. So like I
Yep.
would wait for it to crack VWAP because as you can see, it does behave like this. This is a very typical chart.
For
So it
sure.
cracks VWAP and you could just theoretically you could just hold it until open,
So what?
and then so like but I just use that. I like to see now more like the crack of VWAP and like a knife and like a flush, a hard like this nice bar,
Yep.
like look at that, those two thick red bars is a heavy selling, and then I'll just cover into that flush. And then like I will short it, now it's getting a little illiquid, but it's good enough. Like if you have a smaller account and all that,
Yep.
this is good enough volume, like, you'll hear the bigger traders, they won't touch this. Like for example, I was at Trade Space in Puerto Rico. Big trader was trading next to me, and I told him, "Hey man, look, check this out. I've been doing so well with this strategy. I've been
Yeah.
killing it." And he's like, "Oh, I don't. That's not worth it for me." I'm like, and I'm like, "Oh, of course, because he's trading millions of dollars. You know what I mean? Like for me,
Right.
this was. I'll take my. This is good money, man. So like,
Yeah.
it's totally worth it. But if whatever strategy that goes to show you, like whatever strategy you got, if you got the data and the charts and the stuff behind it, and it's working for you keep doing it. You know what I mean? Keep exploring it. But as far as the risk and all that, yeah, I would risk. So I look at the longer term chart for the risk area. So like since I was
Can
small,
you
a
zoom in a
small
little more because it's hard
size,
to see the longer
yeah,
term?
I know the chart is they did a reverse split recently. Um, but I was risking. So I like to just risk like $2,000. I'll just keep a dollar amount,
Uh-huh. Yep.
something like that. So like that's what I go by. But it is a high conviction play. Um, the stats I got in these is absurd. It's hard to believe, but like my stuff is out there. You can all verified. So like
Yep. Let me ask you this then.
this is a super high odds pattern. Yeah,
I'm going to ask you two more questions real quick before we wrap this up, and then I would love for you to share where people can ask you more questions if they want to reach out to you. And that
yeah.
is just, I guess, really one question is, what would prevent you from taking the trade when you see this in the pre-market at 4 a.m.? Because there's going to be people out here who watch this and they're like, oh, okay, cool. Every time I see
Very good
something, I'm just going to
question.
short it. So what would make you not
Yeah,
take the trade?
that's a very good question, and that's the thing. So like it's tough to that's just tough in general with trading whenever you're trying to learn from someone. Like, it's so what would prevent me from not trading? But you got to consider me as my account size, my experience, my confidence, my all this,
True.
it's like it's
Yep.
personal to me. But for me, I definitely would not touch anything under 2 million float. Like I said, I was going over, I interviewed one of the Dux's successful students yesterday. And like I was talking with him, I was like, man, you remember when Dux was like with Tim Sykes in 2017 in the interview on YouTube? He said he's not shorting anything under 2 million float. Then I went to Dux's conference last month and he still doesn't short anything under 2 million float. So if it's good enough for Dux, it's good enough for me. Just I'll put that as a blanket statement. Nothing under 2 million, I just will not touch it. And I think it's a great rule. Like a couple of big squeezes this year were under 2 million. But yeah, under 2 million. If it has what
And it
else?
seems like it needs
Has
warrants, right?
news.
Is that the idea? Like you want warrants and no
It's more
news.
more confidence, more dilution, more confidence for the short. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
I no catalyst is very good. So if I'm digging around and there's no catalyst, um, is good. No news. I don't like. I hate to short the hot sectors.
Yep.
Like for example, if it's monkeypox and monkeypox is going, or if it's something COVID related and COVID's like popping up again, or if it's EV Tesla is popular or the meme stocks, try to let those play out more for intraday. Figure out when is the time to come in for those. But in the pre-market, it's more like you're just doing mop-up duty from like
Mm.
the you know what I mean? From like the
Yeah.
stuff that's just randomly going, you know what I mean? So um
Yep. Well,
it's
look,
just like the easy stuff. You just want to like someone laid you a freebie right there. You just come to pick it up. That's pre-market. No,
well,
don't try to be a hero.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you shared this, man, David, because I've seen this a lot. I don't trade pre-market at all because I just do shitty pre-market. But I've seen this set up a lot, and I'm so glad you share this with a lot of people. If people have questions, they want to learn more about you, how can they find out about you, man?
Oh yeah, man. So I have the Friendly Bear podcast on YouTube. Oh, Friendly Bear Research on YouTube, Friendly Bear Podcasts all through audio. And yeah, you can reach me on Twitter, Instagram, you know. I'm yeah, I'm friendly. I talk a lot, so
I hear you. I mean, with a name like Friendly Bear Podcast, So, all right,
yeah.
my man. Well, hey, David, I appreciate so much, brother, for being here today and helping everyone out, bro.
Thanks, Alex.